I'm building a wall of storage in my living room, but I have to go back a few steps. Okay, it's 18 degrees in here, it's really hot. And I think... I don't know if I should take this off or not. This wall is going to be exposed within the wardrobe, and the easiest solution to create a clean surface seemed to be renovation wallpaper. So I put up this wallpaper with bad glue. Yeah, this is definitely not attached. The glue was delivered to the house and it was already runny, so I contacted the hardware store and I got a new pot. I got new glue, and this one is... Why? Okay, this one is very different. So, this is what it's supposed to look like. Very much not a liquid. So I'm putting up renovation wallpaper. It's not a normal wallpaper, it's more like a cheap material. It's for uneven surfaces and it just smoothens it out, and then you don't have to do things like putty. And then you can wallpaper or paint on top of the renovation wallpaper. And it's super thick and really easy to apply. I've just been using my hands to smooth it out. It's kind of nice to do this now because the stakes are really low. If it doesn't look very good, then it doesn't matter. Also, this is the correct way to apply this wallpaper glue. This is meant to go straight on the walls, and it works really well. Just after the new year I started making these overalls, but just before finishing I realized they had ended up so much bigger than the sample I made. Altering wasn't the easiest thing and I sort of lost the will to fix them a little bit. So they were lying on the side for weeks until I finally got them apart and took them in as much as I could. Finally! Oh my gosh. I am done. Okay, this is really not very well made, honestly. They're still a bit large. I think one issue is the fabric, which is like a washed linen, and it seems a little too light for the purpose. But at least they are in a wearable state and they're kind of cute, so now I finally have something new to wear when I work. You can see the messy wall behind this renovation wallpaper quite a bit, so I'm going to paint. I'm using the same paint I used on the ceiling. And I don't have a roller, so I am just going to brush it. I'm sure you can't see the difference on camera, but it looks it looks good in real life. It turned out the ceiling was a little bit slanted, so before putting the wardrobe back into place, I had to lower the framework on one side by just a little bit. This week I'm going to work on the middle section of the wardrobe. I need to bulk up the framework a bit, and then I'm going to tackle the diagonal spaces next to the window. I'm contemplating turning these into cupboard doors with shelves, and I'm also going to add the shelving above the windows. The whole design is a little bit tricky. Everything needs to fit perfectly, so I did very detailed drawings, but the building is also a little bit crooked, so everything is going to require some adjusting during the build. So the whole process is probably going to take a little bit more time. I'm getting to this point where building this gets very finicky. There's all these different things going on, and the issue is that I don't have all of the materials yet. I just ordered some pivot hinges which won't get here for another couple of weeks. The funny thing is that this looks very spacious. It almost makes this window look bigger. I have to build all of these things, but I won't be able to actually put it together, which is a little bit annoying and also a little bit stressful because I don't know if I can't put it all together. I don't know if I'm making a mistake somewhere. I am going to pick up some wood tomorrow, but I'm going to start work on the inside of these little cupboards on the side because I do really want to turn this into a door. I think it's just a really cute idea. I'm going to start by cutting all of the pieces I'll need for this middle section. I have some OSB, some shelves, and some triangular pieces for the framework.
have this fabric which I really like. After finally finishing my overalls, I got excited about sewing again, and moving on to the next item, I really want to turn this into a dress. I'm using block patterns as a foundation to create my own design based on a sketch I did. I start by tracing the block pattern, and then I begin changing it by moving around dots and adding length for a skirt. For this one, I have an old yellowed bedsheet which I'm going to use to make a sample dress. I have these periods in my life where I'm very productive and I spend my time off on things I really want to do, like making dresses, and then there are periods where I watch Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And I do think it's important to allow yourself downtime. Sometimes having a lazy period is necessary, but after weeks or months, I want the inspiration again to get going. Get up early, do things with my time, but sometimes it just doesn't happen and I get frustrated. I was talking about this a while ago. I started following this class online about productivity, and I'm still doing it because it's actually really useful. One of the things that was said is that time is like a muscle. The more you use it, the bigger it gets. And it's true, during lazy periods I feel like I have no time, but then I do manage to watch Star Trek Voyager all night long. And when you start using your time again, you realize how much you can do in hours you do have. It really does feel like time stretches. So the classes I started following a while ago are part of a learning path. It's called Master Your Productivity with Ali Abdaal. There are 4 classes and I'm currently on the second one, How to Organize Your Workflow to Maximize Productivity. The main reason why I struggle to get going with things is because I wait for the motivation. And Ali Abdaal talks about this. The thing is, motivation doesn't happen until you start seeing results. Instead of waiting for motivation, you need to have the thought and then go into action. And so that's what I've been trying to do. I follow several lessons every evening. I've been sewing, I started doing some qigong exercises, I started reading a book. So this class is on Skillshare, which is an online learning community for creatives. There are thousands of classes, all led by professionals in film, illustration, photography, and much more. Obviously, I share my sewing projects on here, and for those of you who are interested in learning how to sew as well, there is a learning path. It's called Sew Custom Clothing from Scratch with Robin Burgers. If this type of learning sounds interesting to you, then the first 500 people to use a link in my description box will get a month free trial of Skillshare. So you can join and try it out. And thank you so much to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. Once I start a sewing project, I always get really excited until I get to the point of having this sample, and I'll put it on and then I always realize that it looks nothing like the thing that I imagined. And while my sewing skills are decent, I don't know how to make patterns for everything, and yeah, and then I am just sort of faced with my limitations and decides that this dress is just going to be average. But then I still have to make it. So I am currently taking my sample dress and adjusting it. Once I make it out of the real fabric, it's going to look a lot nicer, because that makes a big difference as well. I'm going on another adventure. I'm going to pick up some books, and my new pieces are quite long, so I'm not buying too much because I don't know how it's going to fit on my trailer. So yeah. We'll see how it goes. So, yeah, cycling adventure. it seems to be working. So I cut down these shelves to 1.6 meters and I made it fit. Obviously my trailer is a lot smaller than that, but the only downside is that it makes my trailer sway a lot. And yeah, whenever I go a little bit faster, it starts just swaying. So I have to cycle really slow. But it's good. It's really good to know that I can take things home this length. Okay, I picked up some new wood, these shelves, and I'm going to make this little section above the window, which is going to be open shelving. I got this really nice wood. Should be a pretty simple build. I say that now, but in the theory it should be really simple. Yes, let's do it. I am going to have 3 horizontal pieces, so I'm going to cut those to size first. I roughly cut them to size in the shop, but they're a little bit off, so... Yesterday was the warmest day and it was sunny, and today it's snowing. It's amazing. I wasn't going to go for a run this morning, but I'm so happy I went. It was amazing. And now I'm coming back and it's just getting to be a little bit too slippery, so I went just in time. Okay, I decided to paint the insides of this unit because the OSB and the wood I have isn't very nice. This will hopefully disguise it a little bit. I'm keeping the shelves unpainted, so when you open the doors it shouldn't look too bad.
It's not the prettiest cupboard. It's not as nice and clean as I imagine it to be. And then ultimately this will be in front of it. That will open up. Yeah, it could be worse. I just walked to the mailbox on the road and it is so gorgeous outside. There's so much sun and there's this thick layer of snow on the trees and it's all falling down. It's absolutely gorgeous. But I went to the mailbox to pick up this. I ordered a couple of samples and I thought all of these fabrics were going to be pretty much the same, but they're all very different. I'm going to use one of these for the inside of the closet doors so that everything can breathe and that there's like a different texture going on. Yeah, but this one is very see-through. Don't know if this one is a bit grey. Maybe this one, but pretty white. I was imagining something a little bit different, so maybe I should keep on looking. I could even think about putting two of these on top of each other because I really like this sort of rougher texture. And then maybe
have this one underneath. That might turn into a nice... I'm on the hunt. I'm struggling to find a way. I need something temporary in between. I just need to fit this top part to the sides and the ceiling. So cool. So cool. These are going to be two flat doors right underneath the middle section. Because of the windowsill, I don't have access to what's happening behind the banquettes. So I'm going to make two flat doors that I'll be able to take down. I'm going to glue this and then hopefully I will receive hinges. I went on the most luxury trip into town yesterday. I solely cycled into town to pick up packages. I haven't been able to do that since before the winter. I just picked up packages and it was amazing to just cycle around. So I have a whole bunch of hinges. I have hinges for these flat doors that are coming here so I can access what's behind, and I have cabinet hinges for wardrobe doors that don't exist yet, pull handles for these two doors, and pivot hinges. I want to try and put in these pivot hinges, but I think it will take a bit of time figuring out. I'm trying to create a template for these little flap hinges, make a hole, but the size circular thing I have is 29 mil and I need 30 mil and it doesn't fit. I have a little set of these things, but yeah, there's no 30 mil, so I can't attach the flap hinges. So much for picking up all my packages now. Oh. Once I put in these pivot hinges, I'll be able to add this one. I think I'm going to take my time to make sure that I put the pivot hinges in the correct place so I don't do it wrong. But this is looking cute, right? So once these are in, I'm going to start work on the wardrobe and the wardrobe doors. Shelving inside, the doors. I got some more samples. I ordered a whole range from Lindehem and I think there's one that I quite like. The colours sort of range from a natural linen to more white, and I think the natural linen is a little bit too dark and the white is too white. I think if I use white it's just going to look like a bedroom. But there's one which is sort of in between. It does have a very distinct sort of strong pattern, but I think it's a good in-between colour that might look really good for this wardrobes. And I think I might just have to order it, so do I have something? I don't know. I also have a really cute fabric for a dress.